everybody, so today we're going to go over Ships That Don't Come In by Joe Diffie. Man, what a great song this is. Those lyrics are just so good, and the melody of the song. Joe, obviously he's been gone a little over a year now, and I still listen to his music on a regular basis. I love Joe Diffie stuff. But this has been probably one of my favorite songs he's ever put out his whole career. So I want to go ahead and teach you. I looked online, I didn't see a lot of lessons. I saw some beginner style lessons, but I didn't really see any on the actual melody of that intro. So I want to go ahead and show that to you. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And if you like this video, please hit the like button at the end of the lesson. Thanks. So we're going to be playing out of the key of A flat, but I've got a capo on fret 1, and I'm doing it out of the G shape. So we can do this G shape here, but really the intro would be easier to do this G shape here, okay? So let's dive right into it. So let me play the first lick kind of slow for you. So that's what we're going to focus on first, okay? So if you want to, and what I do a lot, I just put one of my fingers here on the top, and for purposes of this video, I'm going to say fret 1, 2, and 3. We're going to act like this capo replaces the nut, so frets 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, so fret 3 on the top string, the low E string, and the high E string here. But what you want to do is mute that A string with this finger right here, with your ring finger. So you've got, so that's how I play my G chord here, okay? And that frees this finger up to hit the 2nd fret here on the G string, okay? So what I'm doing, and you can just do single notes, okay? And before we get too much further into this, let me just say this. On the record, you can hear an octave higher guitar as well. It almost sounds like 2 acoustic tracks, one capoed way up the neck somewhere. But I'm going to teach this in terms of just one guitar player in a band, or if you were just doing this solo acoustic and you wanted to put the melody line in, okay? So we've got, what I'm doing there, first thing I'm doing, I'm just kind of plucking the G chord, and I'm doing my middle finger, my ring finger on my right hand, plucking the G and the B string while I'm plugging the top string as well, okay? Just kind of bring that chord out. So you've got, then I pick the D string, okay? Then I pluck with my middle finger here the B string, so, okay? And you can do all this with a pick, just like that, okay? Then after I play that B string, open, then I come to the 2nd fret with my middle finger here, 2nd fret, G string, okay? And then play it open, so. That's the first part, okay? Then it goes to our 4 chord or our C shape here, okay? And what I'm doing here, I did a little walk up, okay? You don't have to do that, it doesn't really do that on the record, but so we've got, what I'm doing there, I'm picking straight down the chord, so picking the A string, the D string, and the G string there out of our C shape. And then after I play that D string open, I take my first finger and I fret that on the, I'm sorry, not the D string, the G string. When I play that open, I take my first finger and I fret it on the 2nd fret. So then play the B string open. So, okay. Then our next chord we're going to play out of the C minor shape. Okay. So, and I think Joe may do it here on the live shows. I've watched him kind of do it here. And you can do that, but for purposes of getting the melody in there, I do it like this. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping my ring finger here on the root note C, 3rd fret on the A string. And what I'm doing, so I'm coming from the regular C major chord, which is this note. This is your 3, so 1, 2, 3. And if you know minor chords, you take your 3 and you flat it a half step. So I'm taking my first finger and I'm playing D string 1st fret. So, okay. And you still play that G string open. Okay. After I play the G string open, I play it 2nd fret, just like we did on the previous lick. Do it with my middle finger. I play that B string open again, okay? And then I resolve on G. So So far from the beginning, that's our main melody right there. Okay, and when we resolve back to G, I'm just going. So I'm kind of doing what I'm doing on the previous licks. I'm just playing different root notes. So I'm still doing that. That's kind of a droning lick that does that over the C. My bad, it does it over the C. There it is. And then over the C minor as well. So I'm doing that over G. Okay? And that's basically just picking the G note, and then the D, and then the G open, G second fret, and then the B open, so. Okay? So we've got, from the beginning, and then it starts that lick over again. The last time through, after the C minor lick, you just hit the G and let it ring, okay? So that's the intro for you on that. Now, I'm just going to play through. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the chords throughout the song, but I'll just kind of play through it. So in the verse, you've got a G, and I do switch to this G position here from here. And the reason I do that is because it's easier for me to get to that D minor inversion that we're doing here. So it goes to G, and then I go, and the reason I do that, on the record, you can hear, and that's just basically a D minor shape. It's a D minor chord, here's your D minor. So I'm playing a D minor with an F here in the bass, but that F note is actually part, well, I say F, it's actually an F sharp with a capo on the first fret, but that note, that's part of your D minor chord. I'm just playing that first as a root note instead of the D note, so, okay? And then I'm putting this G, which is not usually part of it, so it's technically a G sharp, but I'm going to call it a G for purposes of this lesson. So I'm putting this note, I've got my third finger down, or my little finger down on the third fret, little E string. And the reason I do that, because on the record, you can hear the bass player, and that's our root note, because we're in the key of G sharp or G shape here out of with the capo. So the bass player keeps playing that root note while the guitar player does that minor chord. So I'm kind of combining those both together as if I didn't have a bass player playing with me. So I've got, and then you can distinctly hear this walk down that the acoustic guitar players do. He's going, and what I do to go to the C, so I go, and I go, okay, so I know it's a little bit tough to kind of teach that part. Let me just play through it starting at the beginning of the verse. So what I'm doing there, the second time through playing that, I'm actually picking my pinky up instead of playing that root note over that minor chord. I'm picking my finger up and playing the open little E string, okay? And then I'm doing a walk down by going first fret, little E string, open, little E string, third fret B string, and then first fret our B string. And that gets us to our 4 chord, or our root note for our 4 chord, which is our C shape, and that's the next chord we're going to. So I've got from the beginning of the verse. Okay, so after we go to our C shape, then we go back to the G, and you'll hear this lick repeating. It repeats that lick in between the vocals in the verse, okay? So we've got a G shape, And we've got our D minor shape, and if you want to play it just regular D minor, you can do that. Okay, but if you want to play it the way I'm playing it, I'm doing this. So basically, you've got G, and back to our C shape, and then back to our G. Okay. Then we go to our 2 minor, and I'm using an A minor 7. Okay. Which is just our A minor shape with our ring finger lifted up. Okay. Then you have your 5 chord or your D shape. Okay. Then you have back to the minor 7. And back to our D shape. Okay. So that's the verse. And then we've got, let me just play through the verse a little bit for you, just so you can kind of hear how it flows. So. Okay, so there's your verse, and you notice there is a walk down, just walking down from 3 to 2 to open on the A string. Okay, going back down to that minor 7. Then we get to our chorus. Okay, our chorus starts on the 4 chord or the C chord. I'm doing a C add 9. Then our D. Okay, then we do a G. And we're walking down to an E minor. Okay, then we go back to our A minor 7, then our D, okay, or this, and then G, then we do a little walk up, then a D, then here we got a B minor 7, okay, and then a C, then an A minor. Walk up to our C, and then you go right back to the intro lick. Okay. All right. So let me play through the chorus one time for you. All right. 4. Come out of that chorus, you go right back into the. Okay, you can end the song. All right, or on that C minor. Just let that 2nd fret G string ring, and then play a G. Okay. So there's basically a breakdown of the whole song. That's really the only 3 main parts you've got. You've got the intro lick, which does that in the turnaround as well. You've got the verse, and then you've got the chorus, okay? I really want to focus on that intro and that picking part, but I thought I'd go ahead and give you a little insight on the chords as well. So I hope this lesson has been helpful for you. Really, really love Joe Diffie's music. Like I said, he was just such a great artist all around. Definitely miss him and miss hearing some, what could have come out and what new music he would have been putting out. So, like I said, hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Thanks for watching.